No football this week. It's a bye week for the Atlanta Falcons. So, what do we talk about? Let's talk needs. What do the Atlanta Falcons need specifically on defense, considering their defense is already really good? But there's no elite yet. It's not quite that level of Philadelphia Eagles or Denver Broncos. You need a couple of pieces here and there to really take that next step forward to be considered an elite defense. So on today's show, I'm going to go through some cornerback targets because I believe that is the one area, that second CB2 for the Dirty Birds, that is glaring at them in the face, that says, if you get me, we will be an elite defense. This could be for the back half of the 2025 season. It could also be for the 2026 season. You'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. Before we do that, make sure you hit subscribe. If you're a Falcons fan that loves what we do, if you want daily, free, fresh, entertaining Atlanta Falcons content, just hit that subscribe button. And then to make sure that you never miss a video or a live watch party, you got to hit that little bell icon, select the all option, and never, ever miss a video. Let's talk about the Falcons' cornerback targets. Let's start with Jourdan Lewis. Do you remember him? Do you remember him from like 2 months ago when I first took over the channel? I said Jourdan Lewis was a player that I'd really like to target. And everybody was like, I really don't know about him, so I'm not going to say I want him. Well, I've got some interesting statistics to tell you that Moose was right. This dude is a beast. But a little bit on him in the background. Drafted 3rd round by the Cowboys in 2017. Spent almost his entire career with the Dallas Cowboys. But he signed with Jacksonville in March of this offseason in free agency. And last year had 78 tackles, 8 pass breakups, and 1 interception. Very solid numbers. It's almost like he's reversing time, though, because he's gotten better in 2025. Don't believe me? Take a look at these numbers. Jourdan Lewis is the nearest defender in pass coverage after week 4 from the 33rd team, which deals with all advanced metrics for the NFL. He's got a 25.9 passer rating allowed. That's number 1 in the NFL. 3.9 yards allowed per target. That's number 1 in the NFL. He's allowed no touchdowns. He's got 2 interceptions and a minus 24.5% catch rate allowed over expected, which also, by the way, is number 1 in the NFL. So Moose is not going to sit here and toot his own horn, but sometimes, every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds nuts, and I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to football. Why does it matter, though, for the Dirty Birds? The Falcons run zone coverage 76% of snaps, which is 13th in the NFL. So Jeff Ulbrich, what he likes to do is send the house on his defensive line, highest blitzing team in the NFL, and then drop the rest back in coverage. That's good, considering we're not getting beat over the top. Explosive play percentage, the Falcons are like 8th in the NFL. It's fantastic, the numbers that we're putting up when it comes to our secondary. Why does it also matter for it? The Jaguars, by the way, run zone coverage 82% of the time, which is 3rd in the NFL. So, what do we know specifically about Jourdan Lewis? He thrives in a zone coverage scheme, which Jeff Ulbrich loves to run. And if the Falcons are willing to, at a certain point, Week 9 comes along for the NFL trade deadline and they're looking to buy, this could be a piece that adds a little extra secret sauce to the Falcons defense. And like I said, the corners are already great. Did you know? What is YPT? Yards per throw. Is that correct? Did I get that correct? Yeah, YPT, yards per throw allowed. Yeah, no, I got that correct. Sorry, a little TV timeout there. 7.7 yards per throw on outside corners. So the corners for the Falcons are currently averaging 7.7 yards per throw. That's 10th in the NFL. That's really good. 7 yards per throw in the slot, not nearly as good. That's 18th in the NFL. 4.6 yards per throw to tight ends. We are fantastic against covering the tight end. We are 3rd in the NFL. Now, here's the great news. Jourdan Lewis plays primarily as a slot corner. He plays as a nickel corner. Whoa, Moose. We already got one really good one of those. Billy Bowman. Yes, we do. But I've got a theory. If you kept Billy Bowman in the nickel, you could slide Jourdan Lewis out. He's experienced enough. He's played outside corner. He'd be just fine. Or if you wanted to get really creative, maybe you slide Billy Bowman out to the outside corner. Take Mike Hughes, put him on the bench. Billy Bowman slides outside, Jourdan Lewis comes into the nickel, and then you've got A.J. Terrell, Jourdan Lewis, and Billy Bowman as your three corners. Prove to me that I'm wrong. That would sound and go bananas. I trust Billy Bowman to be an outside corner. But if you were maybe not willing to take that risk quite yet, Jourdan Lewis has done it before. He's taken multiple snaps on the outside corner position. You would have him slide outside. Billy Bowman would stay at the nickel. So let me ask you, would you trade for Jourdan Lewis? If you are in our live chat right now, make sure you let me know in the live chat down below. If you're watching during our regularly scheduled programming, let me know in the comment section down below, because my answer is a hell yeah, I would do it. I think he's an absolute stud, and there's a reason I listed him as a trade target 2 months ago when I first took over the channel. Let's move on to our second cornerback target. This guy doesn't play in the NFL. He's a college guy. Oh, we got our first little draft rumor, don't we? Love it. Let's talk. Jermod McCoy for the University of Tennessee. I'm going to tell you about this beast, and he's a stud. Now, granted, he has not taken a snap yet in 2025. There's a reason for that, and we'll talk about it as well. But you're going to love what I have to say about this guy, and I think he could be an absolute home run for the Atlanta Falcons. But before I tell you about that, let me tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you could pick the same player up to 3 times in the exact same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can, all in the exact same lineup, only on Prize Picks. How does it work? Just like this. Pick the player, more or less on their stat projections. Watch your money multiply. Win up to 2,000 times your money on Prize Picks this football season. Just download the app right now. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. All right, let's talk about our second guy, Jermod McCoy, currently a cornerback for the University of Tennessee. I know, Georgia fans hate that, right? Go Dogs. But when it comes to the University of Tennessee, we've already got one of those rookies, James Pierce Jr. So why not go after his former teammate, Jermod McCoy? He is primarily an outside zone cornerback. Well, Falcons love to run that, check. Falcons also need an outside corner, check. Strengths, got a nose for the football and elite coverage grades from what we've seen on tape. His only weakness is that he's not very fast. He runs a 4.5, and because of that, when he gets beat, can get a little bit grabby when he gets downfield. Outside of that, he's got some of the highest football IQ I have seen out of any player at his position. So let's talk a little bit more about why he hasn't played in 2025. He tore his ACL in January. That could be a bit of a red flag. But I'm still willing to roll the dice on this kid because I went back and watched the tape this morning on this kid from 2024. And holy freaking amen. This kid is outstanding. He is one of the smartest corners I have seen in college, period. Since I've started watching college football, he is a stud. 44 tackles in 9 PBUs in 2024, 4 picks, and a coverage grade of 89.6. This kid can frickin' play. He's an absolute beast. And Draftbuzz, one of the websites that I trust for my draft coverage here on not only Falcons Today, but for the NFL as a whole, says this about him. Despite the long speed concerns and injury situation, his exceptional football IQ, his ball skills, and versatility make him a worthy high selection with legitimate CB1 upside at the next level, provided his rehabilitation continues on schedule. Well, we also know this. You can bring me up full screen here, Alpha, real quick. Oh, that's fine too. Player comp. Who is his player comp right now? Jourdan Lewis, the nickel corner right now for the Denver Broncos. And here's what's even crazier. He plays like Jourdan, but Jourdan plays in the slot. This kid plays on the outside. They're almost the exact same player. They're rangy, they're athletic, they're versatile, they're unbelievably smart, they understand coverages, and both of them have some serious upside. The only difference that I would say is that Jourdan Lewis a little bit faster. Just a little bit. But outside of that, they're almost the exact same player. And here's why it also matters that this ACL is not really that big of a deal for me. We live in 2025. Medical advancements are better than they've ever been. There are so many stories, so many cases now where players come back even stronger and even better in shape after their ACL surgery. I'm not worried about the ACL issue. He's super young. He's super athletic. He's super smart. I would love to draft this kid. Projection, middle to late first round of the NFL draft, which is exactly where I have the Falcons drafting, somewhere in that 20 to 25 range. So, should the Falcons target Jermod McCoy in the upcoming draft? It's a long way away. I understand that. However, if you didn't want to give up any draft capital, if you really, really wanted to go out and get a first-round pick, maybe you make another trade for, because you don't have a first-round pick this year. You definitely want to go out and make a trade somewhere and get a first-round pick in any case. I would love to draft this guy. Maybe he slides to the second round because of this ACL injury. Who knows? There's so many different possibilities that we have not explored. Either way, I'm drafting this kid. Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section down below. Last one. This is more practical than anything because this guy is ready to be traded right now. And his name is Riq Woolen. He's one of the corners for the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm not going to lie to you. I put this guy on here because the trade rumors around this guy are sky high right now. He's going to get moved. It's just going to be a matter of which team. But Riq Woolen is not one of those players that I think is a major difference maker. Now, the reason I put him on this list is, like I said, if you were ready to make a trade right away, this could be the guy that you do immediately. But with that being said, he has not been that outstanding this season. If you go back to 2024, 2023, and 2022, this guy's an absolute stud. Look at his 2022 numbers. 63 tackles, 16 PBUs, and 6 INTs. Holy frickin' garbanzo beans. But do you notice something else? It almost looks like his stats get worse and worse every single year. So, look, he's fine. I'm not going to say he's a bad player, but I'm also not quite ready to make this trade. But if you want a little bit more about this dude, he's gotten worse each year and is falling out. This is from our Seahawks host, Mr. Will Ortner, by the way. So a guy who covers this team every single day. These are his notes. Gotten worse each year and falling out of favor in Seattle. He's in a contract here and Seattle doesn't want to pay him. Seattle is deep at corner, so Woolen is expendable. So if you're telling me that this is a player that has gotten worse every single year based off of his coverage grades, which aren't that great, he's trying to get paid, they don't want to pay him, and he's being surpassed by younger, more athletic, and better players. The writing's kind of on the wall for this guy. He's getting ready to be moved. But like I said, his PFF grade, they're not great. He's got a 40 overall grade. That's terrible. His run defense is actually okay. His tackling grade sucks, and his coverage grade's even, well, it's not worse, but it's just as bad. I think he's the worst option out of all of these three. However, I'm pragmatic. If the Falcons were like, we want a cornerback right now that has some upside, somebody over the likes of Mike Hughes, this could be the player that you go out and do. Now, Will Ortner said that they would want at least a fourth-round pick. I don't know that I'd be willing to give that up. You might be able to squeeze a sixth out of me, but that's about it. So I'll say that out of all of this, it probably goes in this exact order. Jourdan Lewis at 1, Jermod McCoy at 2, and then Riq Woolen at 3. You let me know which one you'd pick. I'm typing my JLs. I think Jourdan Lewis is a frickin' baller, man. Jermod McCoy, Also a very, very good prospect. Let's just see how that knee holds up. And then, of course, Riq Woolen, who, again, probably the most ready to be moved, but I don't really think I want him. Either way, let me know in the comment section down below. Before I end today's episode, a reminder to hit that subscribe button. It is completely free. We need 773 subscribers to get to our next goal of 42,000. Hit that little bell icon and never miss a time that we post. Until next time, Falcons fans, rise up and be cool.